guys? Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm going to go with the trades that we took today inside the Discord, as well as the plan going into tomorrow. So this is what happened today on SPY. Again, I didn't trade SPY today. I've been focused more so on individual stocks. That's just what's been hot right now for me, and we've been killing it with options. So I'll just go over SPY first and kind of what happened today. So again, I told you guys going into today, market's still bullish. I don't really have a bias to the downside. There's no need to be based on the charts. Everything's saying higher, and you could see right off of open, where did we open up at? Right here on this dip, right around that 50 SMA, which is a key support on the 30-minute chart, and we ended up bouncing and we pumped a little bit, came back down on the 50 right in here, and again the dip gets bought. This 50 SMA, it's a major pivot point, and then when we go to the higher time frames, you can see every other time frame's crossed. Really nothing to be bearish about. I mean, when we're crossing on all time frames like this, there's just no reason to be shorting. This 4-hour chart's just going across. And then if we go to the daily chart, I'm not sure what this looks like, but yeah, this daily chart is shaping up to end up crossing. I think we do have more news tomorrow before open. I think we might. I'm not exactly sure, but again, if there's news, obviously that could change things. But for now, based on the charts we have, I mean, I favor the upside. There's no reason for me to favor the downside until this 30-minute loses the trend, and we start going negative on these higher time frames. That's when we know that, okay, if the dip's not going to get bought, when we start crossing negative on the 30-minute, 1 hour, 2 hour, 4 hour, things like that. So that's kind of how we know when the trend's over with and when the dip's not going to get bought. So on SPY, I'm not sure what the 0DT charts looked like. I didn't even open them today, so I'm not sure what they looked like. But again, no reason to be shorting because all these dips down here to the 50, major support, bounced once, bounced twice, and then we saw some continuation to the upside. So that's pretty much on SPY. And then if we go back to the monthly chart, again, we just go to the daily chart. This is the chart that we use on the monthly contracts, the daily time frame and the 4 hour, mainly just the daily. I'm usually only looking at the daily, sometimes the 4 hour, but the daily chart just paints the higher time frame picture of what's going on. And you can see, again, I told you guys, still bullish going into today. Oh my god, I hate when my chart does this, man. Hate when this happens, but again, still bullish going into today. Nothing to be bearish about, and I can't zoom in because my mouse is all goofed up. What is going on? I don't even know how to use this chart, but there. I'm just gonna leave it like this. So again, this 50 SMA on the monthlies is a major pivot point. We're always looking at the weeklies and then the monthlies, which is usually the next month out. Sometimes it's in the same month when it comes closer to the expiration, because we change these contracts the week before the expiration. So on what contract is this? The 19th expiration? No, what is this? Yeah, the 19th. So the week before that is what? I don't even know. The 12th. So September 12th is when, or not September 12th. The week of September 12th, I believe, is when we're going to be changing the contracts. Or it's on the Monday. The Monday of the September 12th contracts, or the week of September 12th, is when we change the next month out contracts. Hopefully that makes sense. Yeah, that's kind of how go about watching the contracts. The monthlies, again, daily time frame, and then the weeklies, we use that 30-minute, which is the major time frame for the crosses. And then you pair that up with the 1 hour, 2 hour, 4 hour in the daily as well to see how far those crosses could actually go. And when you get all those time frames crossing at once, that's where the best A+ setup happens. And that's what we've been trading when it comes to these individual stocks, man. Because there's so many different stocks out there, you could find really good ones where all those time frames are crossing, and those are the ones you want to capitalize on. So again, Apple, really didn't see much of a move today on it. I'm still holding this. I was up 27% or 30% off of the first 15 minutes of the market, but the current weeklies, we're going to be changing these contracts anyways, but you can see what happened right off of open. We ended up pumping right up in here, and it just didn't want to go higher, so we ended up coming back down here, breaking the 50. But honestly, not too concerned about this because we are going to be getting different contracts tomorrow, so I'm thinking that we're probably gonna gap down and get these ones. That's just my guess. I don't think we're gonna get the 235 or the 240s, but on this chart still looks pretty good. So this was something I was eyeing just in case, not just in case, but because I know that we're picking new contracts tomorrow, and the contracts that expire tomorrow are shorter expiration. They're probably getting a little torched. So I'm glad we went with the September contracts just because we have more time on our hands. Then when we look at the higher time frames, it still looks like a good setup, man. Every time frame still crossed. 1 hour, 2 hour, 4 hour, all crossed. We do have a bit of a gap to this 50. In this daily chart, there's no 50 SMA, which is unfortunate. I wish we'd be, crossing on this chart. But when we go back to the monthlies on not this chart, on Apple right here, you can see, I mean, 10's going above the 50, pretty bullish chart. There could be a dip that does happen. Don't get me wrong. This does look like it will get a pullback of some sort to this 10 SMA possibly. I don't know if it's going to go all the way to the 50. But eventually the next candle opens tomorrow, and then this SMA is going to pop up a little bit more. So is the 50. So if we did get a dip, I wouldn't be surprised because this chart is a little extended from the SMAs. So it's like 50% maybe from the SMAs, or almost 100% actually. So if we did get a pullback, I'm not going to really be concerned because I'm going to look to add if we do get a drop down in here. Right now, I'm still not really fully sized into the position. Like, I want to add some more size, but I'm kind of just waiting on confirmation to do that. Either I'm probably going to wait till next week to add more to this, just because I just want to see how the next day or two plays out, because this could obviously pull back. But if this doesn't pull back like tomorrow or Monday, then we're most likely just going to continue to go, because by the time the next two candles form, SMAs are probably going to catch up and we're probably going to rip higher. But Apple, it's still one that I really like for a swing, and we already capitalized on it before. I sold the contracts. I had I forget what expiration. I think next week's out. I had at one point, and we sold those for like 65%. So that was a good trade that we did take yesterday. But yeah, nothing really more to say on Apple. I still like the trade. If there's any dips, they're probably going to get bought. And yeah, what else we got? Oh my God, Intel, bro. This chart was crazy, man. I sold this yesterday, all of it for 140%. But look at this chart, man. Oh my God, these contracts went crazy. Look at these. 315 these ones peaked at. I had the 21.5 calls for tomorrow. So obviously I didn't hold it going into today. I sold it right on this pump right here at 12 o'clock. That's where I ended up selling the last position at 160%. And then it pulled back. It was a pretty good sell. I mean, look at, we ended up just pulling back the rest of the day into today. And you can see what happened. These got bought up, and then there was news that dropped, and these went absolutely insane. I mean, the contracts that I had probably went like 1,000%. I think close to 1,000% they went, because I originally got in the contracts at 35 or 36 cents, and they ran to, I think, like almost $3 a piece. So yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate, but that wasn't my plan to hold it for like 500%. So I'll take the 160%, move on to the next trade. It was a good trade. We held it for a little bit, and can't complain. This is the power of the system, man. We get the 1 hour crossing, the 2 hour right here crossing, and then also today, obviously, the 4 hour starting to cross, daily starting to cross. I mean, this thing's probably going to continue higher, but I'm probably not going to be taking another entry on this. Maybe if we get an aggressive dip to this 50, I'd take it, but we made a good chunk of the move today, or a good piece of the move at least, and I can't really complain. So Intel, I mean, that thing ended up flying. Microsoft is actually a solid looking one going into next couple of days, but if we look here on this monthly chart, we're sitting at that key support again. We're just chopping around this area right now. So, I'm not taking an entry on Microsoft just yet. I want to see the weeklies cross on the 30-minute chart. That's going to give me the entry point, because right now we're just sitting at this. You could either buy this dip right here, but again, I'm just going to be waiting for the 30-minute to cross in this case. That's just kind of how I want to go about trading this one. Really no reason. I just want to see that 30-minute cross to happen, and then I'll slap some longs on Microsoft. But here's the chart that I'm talking about, because okay, yeah, one reason this daily chart doesn't look too hot. I mean, I didn't see this until right now, but this daily chart and the weeklies are going negative. These are actually not the contracts I wanted to watch, because these are for tomorrow. I wanted to get a read on what the next week's look like, because we're picking new ones tomorrow. Where's the 530s? I definitely added them. Is it these ones? Yeah, okay. So this is what the monthlies look like. Go to the daily chart. There's no 50 SMA, so that's better. The 4 hour ended up rejecting the 50. So this is kind of why I just want to see this 30-minute right here. If this chart right here on the 30-minute time frame crosses 10 SMA, goes back above the 50, just like how it did over here, this is a trade I want to take. And yeah, we're sitting at major support. So if this cross happens on the 30-minute, I'm 100% taking the trade, and it's a good looking one. So Google, we never got an entry on this. I know the 30-minute did not cross. If we go on the weeklies, so yeah, I told you guys Google, if we cross on the 30-minute, I take it. But again, you can see what happened. We came up to this 50, rejected. This is the key pivot point. We need this to break and cross to take an entry. We never got that, so obviously we never took an entry on that. What did I play today? Oh yeah, That's what I took today. I was trying to figure out. I'm like, I know we took a new trade today, but yeah, I'll go over it. Very, very simple. So if we pull up these contracts, this was a very good trade. So starters on the daily chart, this is what we looked like. I mean, this is a very, very good, nice looking setup. So we got back above the 10, the 50 SMA, which is key levels on this chart, and 10 SMA is pointed up, 50 is curling up. So we ended up grabbing a dip buy on this contract, not this contract, but on this morning, and this was an absolute bottom tick. I had zero drawdown whatsoever. I ended up buying right here at this 50 SMA. The contracts I had got filled at 0.55. I had the I think I had the 40 calls for next week's, I believe. So if you guys look at the low day on those, I'm pretty sure it was like 0.55. Maybe it went like a cent below, but that was the dead bottom. And yeah, we caught a really nice move on it today, up like 87%, 90% at one point. Still holding this into tomorrow. Looks really good. 1 hour's crossing, 50 starting to curl up, and then same thing with the 2 hour. 2 hours starting to cross. 50 is flat right now. Tomorrow it'll probably end up curling, and we are sitting at this 4 hour chart, or this 4 hour 50, which is a pretty big pivot, but I don't think this is going to reject. I think it's going to end up pulling a Intel and just breaking right above it, because you can see how flat it is. It is not sloped down very hard at all. It's pretty level. And then when we have the 40s on the monthly contracts, looking very bullish here on the monthly contracts on this daily chart. I just favor a breaking. I mean, this is a very bullish looking chart, and I favor higher. So we're swinging the runners into tomorrow, and I'm looking for 115, 120, maybe even 150% on that. So yeah, we let our runners run, and our losses are usually pretty minimal. So yeah, I actually ended up taking a loss on ETHA today. So this is a very small loss. If I could find it, ETHA. So this is just a dip buy in the 30-minute. This was all I was playing. So I just bought this dip down here in the 30-minute 50. We started to break below it, and I closed it for like 7% loss. So since we broke below it, I just decided to cut it. I mean, it wasn't the most high conviction trade in the world. Higher time frame still look pretty good on it, but I'm like, today was a good day. If we break below this 30-minute 50, I'm not going to just risk holding it, because it doesn't look too good right now. So we broke below the 50, closed it for 7% loss, and that was that. So we caught 80% or a 90% gainer, and then a negative 7% loss. And then we're also holding Apple, and then I'm also holding a few other swings, which I'm not going to name because the private will get those, and they already have them. So I'm just going to go over the trades after I close them. But yeah, that's pretty much what we did today. A lot of good charts. I'm not going to lie. I have a good amount of positions opened, and I like the look of all of them. All of them look really good. I'll go over them once we start to actually close them and take trims. But yeah, that's what we did today. If you guys enjoyed, drop a like, drop a sub. If you guys want to learn, join the Discord down below. That's where I post all my trades. Obviously, the premium Discord gets that, and the free access, I'll post some trades here and there. But that's the place to learn if you want to or that's the place to be if you want to ask questions about how I trade. So be sure to join that. I'm always active in the chat. So yeah, that's all I got. I'm out. Peace.